What's up guys, my name is Twist, and today we're going to be going over some ways that you can get higher value out of your blades on Genji. Now I'm going to show you a few examples. A few of them aren't going to get that many kills, and then a few of them are going to get a lot of kills, and I want to show you why both are pretty useful in their own right when used correctly. So in the first sense, right, we're playing a bunker comp here on Paris, and the enemy has EMP, as you can see in the top right-hand corner. We don't have any defensive ult, and our Baptiste will probably get hacked with it, so as a Genji, you need to start thinking to yourself, okay, maybe I can zone them away if I hide. So my first thought is I'm going to stand back, and so that whenever the EMP comes out, like that, now I can dash in there with my blade, right, and get a few of these kills, right? I can manage to pick up one on the Mercy and then another one on the Genji, and even though the rest of our team died, that's still the right idea. And if you time your blades for stuff like that and your team doesn't happen to just die to everything that they throw out, getting 2 kills like that can be instrumental in retaking this point. So here's another example where I'm saving my blade for this EMP. So that's why I'm on the left side in the first place. And so as soon as I hear that EMP come out, I'm now in the perfect spot for me just to go in and try and deal some damage, right? And even if I don't kill anything, I can still zone and possibly stall for time. And then here comes the EMP. So my first thought is I'm going to try and kill the Sombra. That's a good pick. In a contest scenario where they're going to commit ults, getting a pick early is going to help you win that fight for sure. And then they obviously use Nanoblade and they use their mines, which kind of zones me away. But I'm just going to start kind of shooting into them and see what I can do. And when you think about it, I may die, but in a scenario where it's 2 CP, where it heavily favors the defending team, getting a pick early with that well-timed blade will help you win for sure. And even if you just get a few other people low, that can be instrumental in you winning the fight. So again, this is not a very flashy blade, but I would argue that it's an incredibly important one for us holding this point. Now I want to move on to more flashy blades, like the kind of blades that you see, you know, in montages and the kind that you all know and love, the ones where you kill like 5 people. And I'm going to show you how I managed to pull them off pretty well. So the first step from when you're running against a bunker is they're all going to be pretty clumped up, but you have to deal with the immortality field. We have a Nanoblade with EMP, so I don't really have to worry about that as much. So first step, obviously, is we're going to dash into the air because that gives a good vantage point for our Ana to see me and then nano me, which comes out right about here, I believe. Yeah, it's a little bit late, but that's going to happen sometimes. With the EMP, now I can basically just slice through whoever I want to. And as soon as I see this barrage come out, I can just deflect it back in her face and then cancel my deflect by dashing with the dash reset that I get, finishing them off. And then just because your blade is over doesn't mean you can stop killing things. You still have some of that nano left. May as well deal it on some meaty target while you have that nano and then finish off this Doom with a dash reset you have left. So I want you to kind of note there is one, you can cancel your deflect with a dash reset. That's really important to note. Deflecting when you're blading is always kind of a last case scenario. You don't want to do it because it wastes time when you could be slashing, but if you're in a scenario where you're going to die like a barrage in your face, go ahead and deflect it back because that's better. I know that there's that instinct you have where you're like, I can just slash them, oh no, you're dead. So it's better to be safe and deflect that and stay alive. And then also, when your blade is over, if you have any nano left over, pick the meatiest target there because you can chunk them down with what's left of that nano, and then once it's gone, you can focus on more small targets like a 200 HP target. But when you have the nano blade going, you should obviously focus for 200 HP targets first because you'll be able to get a lot more of those a lot faster. So this blade is a little bit weirder because I wasn't really ready for it, but the Sombra goes for the EMP, and so I have to commit with my team. So if this Sombra EMPs and we're down one, I may as well commit to it because we have a better chance of winning than, you know, me just trying to get it off by myself. So we have the nano come out. First target's the Zenyatta. He got hit by the EMP, but we don't want his hack to wear off and him be able to trance. And the next target is this back corner where I can try and either kill the Orisa or the Mei or both, right? And then I'm just going to chunk down whoever's closest to me, right? We've killed 3 with this blade so far. That's a pretty successful Genji blade, right? The one thing that I did do poorly, though, is I didn't count for my blade having the cleave and killing 2 people, so I dashed into a wall. If I hadn't have done that, I probably would have been able to shoot at whoever our Sombra is shooting at, like this Ana, and I would have been able to probably kill her too. So there was a mistake there, but if you can aim for large groups of people, it's a lot better. What we're going to cover mostly here is dash resets and using your dash ability to the max. So immediately, you know, I see this Mercy. Going in for a dash plus a melee is a great way just to get a little bit more damage. So if you don't get the kill immediately from that, just immediately follow it up with a melee, because that will guarantee you a kill a lot of the times. And then I'm just going to, as soon as I dash to this McCree, I'm going to immediately deflect up, because this will deflect his flashbang, and then I'll be able to get an easy kill up on that, and that's going to get us this point pretty much for free, because we get 2 really nice kills. So moving in here, right, we're using quite a bit of ults. I see this Mercy, and she's discorded, which means I can really make her a good target. We're going to watch this in 0.25. I'm going to go see her, and then immediately kind of flick to her and get the right click. And then I see the Zen. I want to pick a target and go for it as soon as possible. And then as soon as I get him low, I'm going to immediately use my right click and then deflect, because of the fact that a lot of Zens will oftentimes pull back their balls and then they'll just shoot them off at you, right? And so if you can get the damage in and then maybe even deflect something back into them, it's always useful, because I am 131 HP right now. It is a little bit dangerous to try and face that on by yourself. I'm going to, again, just use my dash reset onto this Reinhardt. You want to get your dash reset, go to the next target, go to the next target. And you'll notice that I went from the Mercy to the Zen to the Rein. And you'll notice that I didn't even get the kill confirm on the Zenyatta, but because I did a lot of damage to him, it still gives you the dash reset. And so make sure that you recognize when you have these dash resets, because they can save your life and get you a lot more kills. So I'm going to go on a flank route up to this top left-hand thing. And what's going to happen, we're going to watch this in slow motion, because it's just easier that way. So I'm going to see this Mercy. I'm going to want to lay down my shots, right? So as soon as she uses her shift ability, I know she's a pretty good target for me. Going to land a nice right click into her, get another one off. So she's pretty low. She's going to use her shift ability, and this is when I want to try and dash through her. She's pretty much 1 HP, and then I just want to go in here for the kill. I think I was scared of the Zenyatta, so I tried to get the right click off, but as soon as I'm done with my deflect, I'm just going to melee her, and now I have to deal with a Hanzo, but this is fine because I can kill this Hanzo, and we're winning this fight. So this Hanzo's in this corner. Before he can even charge an entire bow shot, I'm just going to get a right click onto him, and then dash through him, and then just finish him off with him. Well, I was going to melee there, but our Zen finishes off the kill for sure. So, again, you're noticing that in this scenario, I didn't actually really need to use my dash reset to get to a different location. I just wanted to throw off his aim. So if I dash through him, that's going to mess him up, and it's going to make it harder for him to hit me, and I'll be dealing damage to him while discombobulating him, and it's just going to make it a lot easier for myself. And now it's kind of a contest scenario. A few of them can touch, so we want to try and make that good. I'm going to try and go for a dash on this Lucio to get him low so we can confirm a kill. Mercy's dead immediately. This Tracer, I want to try and just burst down with my right click and my dash, right? So I'm actually going to do that. There we go. That was a perfect example of, and we can just watch this in slow motion. This Tracer's going to come in. I'm going to start my reload, and then as soon as I see her, I'm just going to try and go for the right click with the melee. It wouldn't have killed her, but it got her kind of low. And then she's going to have to force her recall in a second. As soon as she pressed recall, I'm thinking, okay, where was she 3 seconds ago, right? And so I'm immediately looking in this direction. I see her, and then you'll notice that I'm going to use my right click on her and then try and go for a right click. And then as soon as we're at this close range, that was a right click and a melee at the same time. It was so fast you cannot even tell really in 0.25 speed. But you can use those two abilities so well together, and that guarantees me a kill on that Tracer from really close range. I'm close to my blade, so as soon as this Doomfist is in this room alone, I'm going to finish him off, pop my blade to try and finish off some of these heroes, kill off the Mercy, dash over to the Winston, and that's a pretty clean fight win for us. So moving off over here, right? This is a contest scenario. Our Hog is going to contest first because obviously Hog has a lot more HP than me. If he contests first, that allows enough time for DPS to get angles. So look at this. When I dash here, I'm going to use my right click and my dash. And so I just used my right click, and I'm going to try and aim for this Orissa's head, and I'm going to try and dash kind of towards where their McCree is, because I don't really want to dash into this payload. I want to try and get somewhere where I can continue to juke the enemy while contesting the point. So I'm going to hit a few headshots and then end up on the other side of the point. I'm going to reflect the Zen to death with the McCree, which is a great use of the deflect. I know who to focus on, which is the Zenyatta in that scenario because he was the lowest. And then look at this. So I get hooked in by the Roadhog, right? And so I can't really deflect it because I just used my deflect. So as soon as they hook me, I'm actually going to dash to the other side of him. This gets me on a pretty good angle because this draws their attention away from the point. Now this Roadhog is looking at me instead of the rest of my team. And I'm going to do something a little bit unnecessary here that I probably wouldn't recommend you guys doing. I'm going to go for a blade and just pick up these last two people. I think in my mind, I just didn't think that it was one yet, but wasn't really necessary, but dashing through the Roadhog as he hooks is obviously what I want you to kind of take away from that. It can be a really great way to throw your enemy off, basically. So this is going to be a Nano Blade here, and here's the problem with Nano Blades. If they have a Zenyatta, you're going to have to be very careful about it because that does counter it. So if they have a Zenyatta, what you're going to want to do is get your slash dashes at the same time, which means that you can't dash to a target and then slash on them or get in the general vicinity on something and try and get two